Welcome back. So I hope your third eye chakra week went really well. And I hope that you got to notice what abilities that you might have, and also the wounding that comes along with that. What are your blocks to why you're not fully stepping into your power, and things that may be lingering from past lives. It could be that you got killed while using your gifts in a past life, or maybe if sometimes women got their children taken away from them. So you can definitely have those traumas blocking up your subconscious, which is why we do this work, in order to clear it up. So we get to start new in this life, and you don't have to be afraid. We get to redefine our relationship to fear. So I know since I've been doing this work, I've been feeling pretty differently about fear. Like, I feel that it's coming outside of me, kind of. Like an energy that is not mine. Like it's kind of around, but not inside. So half the time it isn't your fear. It is not your own fear. We just inherit it. Or it also could be in our field because somebody else has it in their field, and then it gets activated. So if it's like a dormant like thought form, or just trauma lingering in your field, then somebody else that has that also same thing, when you come into contact with them, they can activate that. And then it needs to get activated so that you can clear it out and you can get it out of your field. So that is like, I'm taking accountability for the fact that this was in my field, my unconscious. We take accountability for what is unconscious in our field, and we say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, I thank you. The whole Ho'oponopono prayer, which helps you to clear out your energetic field and the debris that lies there. So now I'm noticing that fear turns more into like an anxiety thing. Instead of like that dread, that fear and dread, it's, me and fear have had a really interesting relationship throughout my life. When I was an addict, I would be sitting in my room more terrified about just like weird things that would play out in my mind. So that is something I got to know deeply. I really dove into my relationship with fear. And I realized a lot of it was not mine, a lot of it was ancestral, a lot of it was passed down. And now a lot of it was collective fears. So the collective unconscious has pendulums of fears. If you think about one and it gets activated, you kind of get stuck in this fearful loop of thinking. So kind of learning how to, I had to learn how to get myself out of that. And now the experiences I have don't seem so scary anymore. Maybe it's because of the fact that I would be so terrified, like literally just be living in fear. It was bad. So now things don't seem so scary. It just feels like a little speed bump to get over, and the more detached you become to the outcomes and people, especially their opinions of you, and the more you can detach from things, the easier it is to show up in a frequency which you prefer, and not really worrying about how people are going to respond to it. So you do it because it's who you choose to be. The less importance you give things, the more detached you become, and the more you're able to see truth and still be able to hold space and be compassionate to others. It's what being in alignment is. So, I was strongly carrying the fear of judgment, and all the while I was actually judging myself, trying to fix myself. So this is something that came up for me this week for Crown Chakra Week, because Crown Chakra is about releasing attachment to the worldly and earthly things. So knowing that you're so much more, and like we'll get into more about it soon, but I did my healing work and I felt this attachment to suffering leave. So I was constantly judging myself, looking for new things to heal, over analyzing every single thing that I said throughout the day so that I could find things that were wrong. But I felt like after I did my crown chakra healing, it really got me more present and less like attached. So then I realized like I had so much more space in my mind and I could really be present with my senses. But I also found out like my brain was still trying to pinpoint something wrong and like hyper fixating on every little feeling and trying to judge it. So instead, my pattern tried to show up in a different form. So now instead of judging my characteristics, I'm judging how my body's feeling. And I literally had to keep breathing and focusing my attention away from how I was feeling. So I can actually fully come out of this pattern and not let my mind try to trick me through the side, like it coming in through the side door. But now I'm feeling lighter and more aligned. And I feel less attached to everything, but somehow still intimately connected to everything, and it's pretty beautiful. And now I can look at people making mistakes or just having a like pure, candid moment where they do or say something like so real, and I always think like, oh my god, that's fucking beautiful. A lot of times I notice when I'm talking to people, I can see that they just kind of repeat things that they've seen on the internet or like a reel or a photo. So when I see someone being authentic and I see their humanity, it really lights me up. I really love it. So anyway, let's get into the crown chakra. So the crown chakra color is white and violet. So both of these colors work for this chakra. And the symbol is 1,000 petal lotus. Okay, so we're at the crown today. Our last one, yay! And here is, and I didn't color it because the color is white. So you can see how the leaves continue to go. That is 1,000 lotus petals. So it sits at the top of the head. It's right here where a crown would rest. And it moves in a clockwise direction. And it's connected to the 7th layer of the aura, and this is known as the etheric template layer. So it represents the feeling of being one with the universe, and it holds all the info about your soul, as well as your Akashic records, so the records of lives that you've lived as a soul. And it vibrates at a very high frequency. It's golden color. And when this layer is strong, it gives you ease in surrendering to the divine and helps to increase your psychic ability. It regulates the pineal gland, the skull, and the brain, and it's associated with grace, beauty, serenity, oneness with all, our divinity, selfless realization, understanding, higher understanding, and spiritual enlightenment. You'll be more aware of higher spiritual reasons for things that happen in your life, and even when they're happening to others around you. By working on this chakra, you can come into balance with your mental health and expand your knowledge of spiritual enlightenment. So, the chant for this chakra is Om, But when you say it, because the third eye is also Om, but when you say it in your head. So you picture your attention right there at the crown, and you think Om, and you can actually kind of feel the tingling happening above. So the element is the cosmos, and the shape is a half moon. And now when I say half moon, I do not mean a crescent moon, I mean a half moon. So the planet associated there is not one, actually, because this chakra transcends the entire zodiac. So there are no chakras There are no planets associated with it. The animal is the eagle, and the goddess archetype is the guru. So we'll get into the guru, but we're gonna start with, okay, you'll do your chakra check-in. Okay, so you're gonna do your chakra check-in, and here are the reflective questions to think about when you're doing it. Do you view your life experiences through a spiritual perspective? What is your spiritual truth or truths, and do you honor this in your life? Do you engage in religious and or spiritual rituals, and do you do these with intention? Do you feel connected to yourself and a higher source when conducting rituals? Do you appreciate the beauty of nature? Are you able to see that an appreciation of beauty, whether in yourself, others, or nature, makes life more enjoyable? Do you believe it's your birthright to experience bliss? Do you feel that you need to solve all your problems or achieve certain things to experience deep happiness? Are you comfortable with stillness and silence? Do you feel connected to yourself and all living beings, whether people, animals, or plants? So it's going to have things come up that are in direct relationship to your relationship with the divine, to source. Do you feel unconditionally loved? Do you have qualms with spirit? Can they be worked out? Now, usually, if you have qualms with your parents, it will translate into your relationship to spirit, whether that be Mother Earth, or if you see your God as a man, or Father Sky. Ask yourself why you have issues with spirit, because spirit loves you no matter what. And spirit is always doing things for your greater and your highest good and your growth. And when we try to manipulate spirit, like, if I don't get what I want, then I'm going to go back to acting a certain way that's toxic for you. Some people try to do that. They try to manipulate the universe. And that doesn't work. And it's extremely immature. Release attachment and just be happy, knowing spirit always has your back. Spirit loves you no matter what. Even if you're acting a little bit small and throwing temper tantrums, spirit still loves you. Half of the time, spirit can't even bring you what you're asking for because you're not open to receive, or because you have limiting beliefs getting in the way and you haven't cleared them out. You haven't dealt with them. So, do you also accept yourself as a part of spirit? Spirit lives within you, and you live within spirit. As above, so below. So we all have the spark of divinity inside of us, and some people just are aware of it and they know how to work with it, while others are still in a state of disbelief and they think nothing happens when they die, and they don't believe in a higher power, and their lives are pretty empty. Like, I personally couldn't live such a pessimistic life. Like, even when I was in my lowest, in the dark, I still believed and held on to hope no matter what, because that was my light. That was my little light that I nurtured and I grew. So these people do not embrace the magic that is in everything, in every rock and tree and creature. Pocahontas song, you know. But it does. All these things have a spirit, and they do, like, So spirit blew up into the, like, the Big Bang is like spirit blowing up, and all the little tiny light particles that have got scattered everywhere is all of creation. So do you see how that works? We're all here and we're all serving a purpose. And even the people who get labeled bad, they serve a purpose too, because that's the role that they signed up for. So by them doing this, others grow into who they're supposed to become. And by being that villain, we could say they're fulfilling their soul contract so that they would, in fact, be living a fulfilling life. So we just have to stop judging everything as good and bad and see it all as part of a much bigger picture. So once you do your chakra check-in, you can do this week's healing camp meditation, which, it's going to be for crown chakra healing camp. So I did mine in the night in pitch black, so I could really feel myself leave my body. And once I felt that, I was not conscious. So every time I start to like astral travel or something, I get so excited that I black out. But I just have to keep practicing and letting go of not being attached to form, which is a huge one for me, and being open to the divine, because if you're scared or you're overly eager, it'll mess you up and you won't be able to hold your consciousness. So I'd call my guides and angels in for this meditation and then do it. Good crystals for this chakra are spirit quartz, clear quartz, selenite, amethyst, and diamond. And good essential oils to use this week are lavender, myrrh, frankincense, and spikenard. So you can Google other ones to see if you resonate. So also make sure every morning you're setting your intention to heal, balance, and connect with your crown chakra every day this week, and play your crown chakra healing frequency during your bedtime, and also to recite your affirmations once daily. I am one with the universe. I am one with the divine. I honor and nurture my divine connection. I embrace the perfection in imperfection. I trust that all that is unfolding is for my highest good. I am at peace with myself and others and all of life. I experience bliss regularly simply from living my everyday life. So this chakra holds the capacity to experience bliss. So that's why it's really important to clear it out. The Sanskrit meaning for this chakra translates to 1,000 lotus petals. This chakra is known to be the seat of your consciousness. So this is also the final energy center of the three uppers, and it's also the end of our journey. So you should be very proud of yourself, and I can guarantee that if you've been doing the work, you're feeling so much better at this point. So this center governs our thoughts, wisdom, and awareness, our connection to the universe and the divine, and its traits include unity, enlightenment, serenity, and the ability to see beauty and the divinity in everything. So it shows us that all things are divine, and there's not one thing that's not. If you feel inclined to search animism, I'd go ahead and look that up. The first chakra may have a lot to do with our physical world and our reality, but this one is at the other end of the spectrum, and it's connected to our spiritual life and our spiritual existence and our connection to the universe, the higher divine realms. It also plays a big role in the functioning of our energetic bodies and the regulation and disbursement of our prana, chi, life force, shakti, whichever one you want to call it. This is where it comes from, and it flows down into the other six chakra centers. So this is the bridge between the physical and the non-physical realms. This chakra is a huge player governing our spiritual connection and our consciousness. I'd call it pretty vital, like a pretty vital component in a lot of ways, which is why it's so important for it to be open, flowing, and balanced, so our energy body can be operating optimally and at its best. If this chakra is blocked or underactive, we can experience apathy, loneliness, passiveness, physical fatigue, or we may be energetically numb. We might be disconnected from others, emotionally or in any form. And we can feel like we have no direction. We're just kind of wandering aimlessly, hoping life drops something right onto our path. You won't be able to think up goals, and you won't want to manifest anything. You'll feel very lackluster and like your life has no purpose, and you will not feel connected to others or to the divine. If your crown chakra is overactive, you can want a lot materially. You can have a lot of goals, but as you start acquiring things and getting the things that you claimed that you wanted, you still feel the need for more and more and more and more. And in the midst of this selfishness and greed, you can also become very superficial. So you may find yourself displaying arrogance as well. And this arrogance will be sensed by others, and they will feel like they can't connect with you. And then you start becoming more and more disconnected to humanity in others, and you also disconnect from the humanity in yourself. You may feel resistant to life in general, and you might feel like you can't be bothered, and that other people living their lives is a bother to you. Instead of seeing that the divine connection is within and all around all of us, we will only see ways about how we're not the same, what we don't have in common. And that arrogance that makes you think you know all of everything, and everything you think is right, and people are not on your level or as valuable, you focus on everything that separates you and others. So we have to remember that this chakra is about unity. Separation is the opposite of that. And we're gearing towards humanity, seeing that we're all brothers and sisters. Finding things in common with others and getting to know them and learning from them, because we all have different characteristics and things that we know and things that we're good at, but it all comes from a divine place within us. A spiritual disconnect is being disconnected to all other beings and the universe. So on the other side of this, we can actually kind of become addicted to our spirituality. So what happened to me, I spent like 6 hours a day meditating, and I couldn't be bothered because the other realms made me feel so free. And I felt my human experience at the time was too mundane and boring. And I just wanted that feeling that I got from being with the divine. So this overactivity can be a detrimental issue in more than just one way. If we start becoming obsessed with spirituality, we will need to take it in doses, and we will not be able to go about our day without reading something, learning something. It's like we need a daily fix. And I noticed when I was staying somewhere, so like if I was staying somewhere that was out of my ordinary, so not at home, if I went to somebody's house or whatever, and I was stayed a weekend or something, and I didn't have normal access to what I did every single day, it made me like really edgy. So I practiced stretching out my work and using certain days for spiritual things and certain days for human things. So both are very important and need to be balanced. And now I just kind of let my day flow, and I use my intuition to guide me to what I'll do. This week, in honor of Crown Chakra, I stopped my routine. And I said, I'm just going to be, and I'm just going to let it flow. Because I tend to get really caught up in my to-do list, like Spanish, gym, meditate, whatever. So this week, my only to-do is to not try so hard and to let life flow me. and I'm loving it. Sometimes we might even have our human life suffer at the hands of chasing this divine connection. So like I was talking about, you won't really want to be around people. You won't want to go to your job, or you won't want to get a job if you don't have one. Like I've seen this a lot in the spiritual community. People think earthly things are evil, but it's not true. Everything in moderation always, and everything is just a tool to help you on your journey. Your spiritual journey is your human experience, so live it up and live balanced. Take time for both things, humanity, spirituality, as well as your mind, body, soul connection. When we're constantly chasing spirituality, it's easy to become ungrounded, and you'll be overly obsessing and overanalyzing every single thing you see. Like, oh, this is a sign, and you try to decode it. But some things just aren't that deep. So, nothing has a built-in meaning unless you give it a meaning. And if you do, then something inside you must be needing to cling on to this thing for a sign or synchronicity to affirm that you're still on the same path. All this stuff can be figured out inside of you if you're willing to reflect and go inward. You don't need really the signs, but a lot of people, like, I guess, when they're not willing to just go and look in, they need to look outside and be like, oh, that's a sign, and it's really just something that's coming from them anyway. You are on the right track, so just lighten up. This is supposed to be a fun adventure. Don't be so hard on yourself. You'll be exactly where you need to be when you need to be there. Keep making progress and showing up for yourself, and have fun in the process. The divine is within you, and it's not going anywhere. So show your human some love and take care of both sides. As much fun as it is floating away through space, we have a duty to be grounded and to show up for humanity, and that includes ourselves. So don't let yourself suffer because of this. And that's why balancing this chakra is so important. Because sometimes we can let our spirituality, our obsession, come in the way of our hygiene, finances, social, or even love life. Symptoms of a blocked or imbalanced crown chakra are migraines, pituitary gland issues, thyroid issues, hormonal imbalance, chronic fatigue, hair loss, cognitive issues, neurological issues, nerve pain, psychological issues, depression, anxiety, and others. When this chakra opens, symptoms will arise. Your 3 to 5 day symptoms that happen when you balance a chakra. These can be felt both physically and mentally, and you may feel a lot of sensations at the top of your head, and they may even be intense. So it could be tingling. It could lead to a more powerful vibration that can make the skull, head, body, and nerves throb. Sometimes you might feel an intense pressure when opening this center, and it can cause headaches, dizziness, disorientation, a ringing in the ears or head, or a mild feeling of electric energy running through you like you're being zapped. During this rebalancing, you can experience increased sense of awareness and intuition, and a connection to yourself and to the spiritual realm. You will feel connected to the universe, spirit, your guides, your angels, your spirit animal, God, or whatever it is that you believe in. When you feel this, it may bring on a surge of emotions, and you can feel more connected to others and at one with them. But you can also maintain your separateness as an individual. So, some pleasant symptoms you may experience are unity with all existence and a sense of peace and bliss in knowing that there is way more than what we experience on earth. You can see beauty in all things. You'll appreciate yourself and your own beauty. And I'm not just talking about how you look. I'm talking about seeing your own divinity and your spirit, and seeing that beauty is way deeper than just skin deep. Your inner beauty will radiate externally. Now, when this chakra is balancing, it's going to send in more energy to the other chakras. So they will naturally come back into balance, to resonate with what's happening in the crown chakra. So it's not unheard of to experience small symptoms of things going on in the other chakras as well. And at the end of this week, you'll be totally aligned, activated, and clear. So the archetype to work with during this chakra meditation is the guru. A spiritual teacher who shows students to live in a spiritually enlightened manner. There are so many different teachers in so many different religions and different spiritual circles. Depending on where you are in the world, there also might be different teachers. So, what makes the guru different than these teachers is she is able to impart divine wisdom, the desire for self-realization, and a sense of wholeness within her students. She doesn't want to be your guru. She just wants you to be your own guru. And she wants to see her students become the very best versions of themselves through the divine connection. And she wants to see them rise above the earthly plane and go beyond the material and physical world life. She is kind of a different branch of the wise woman. So the guru is divinely wise, and the wise woman also has wisdom, but it comes from a different place. The guru sees and knows all. And she also knows the divine. So she knows that there is a divine connection between every event and purpose for every single thing that happens, good or bad. The guru is the top of the ladder for archetypes, just like the crown chakra is the top chakra. This makes her someone to look up to for all, and it does not make her arrogant or hierarchical. She knows that everyone and everything is connected, and that everyone is also a teacher, and lessons come from all experiences, good and bad. She represents a spiritual teacher, and this archetype resides in all of us. It is our higher selves. You may not see yourself as a spiritual teacher in this life, but that doesn't mean you can't embody some of those qualities. They can be utilized in many ways, not just for spiritual teaching. And we can become a role model for the development of spirituality, because our ultimate goal is to reach enlightenment, just like the guru. We came to earth, but we are much more than our bodies. There is so much more to our existence. Everything is connected and we are all one. Realizing that and learning that is the key to seeing the divinity and beauty in others. Your life is like a big school, always learning from things, always teaching things, and even learning while you're teaching. We are humble students of life, and even chasing enlightenment can become an obsession. The truth is, when you know you're a spiritual being having a temporary human experience, you realize that you are nothing and everything. And we keep diving deeper and deeper into our journeys. But there's times for that, like the past 7 weeks. And then there's a time for keeping it simple. Sometimes things are just what they are, and they don't need to be analyzed. And you can enjoy anything, going for a walk, watching TV, having a laugh with a friend. It's all spiritual. But always make sure to prioritize fun and simplicity at times, because this life and walking the spiritual path is not easy. So sometimes you just need to let go and stop judging yourself and live like nobody's watching, because you're fucking lovable and you're fucking awesome. And when you can do that, you have tasted freedom. And when you believe in spirit and you step into consciousness where you have the freedom to dream and believe that anything is possible, believe it, ask for it. Watch the universe work its magic when you let go. The whole journey was learning to clean the rubble to manifest your desires in a clear and aligned way. Well, you did that. So now try to manifest something. Give it a shot. Practice speaking to your higher self and your spirit guides every day, and really cultivate a relationship with them. Cultivate a relationship with them. You are safe. You are loved. guided and protected. Honor that. And be grateful and love. And give back to them. Give love back to them. They give it so freely and so often to you. I know that I always feel it when I'm talking with them, so maybe you can try to do the same thing. Talk with them and see if you feel that feeling of love and warmth when you reach out to them. You can always ask them for help. And if you don't know how to tap into them, you can always ask a different spiritual teacher or guru for help and guidance on your journey. You can speak with your guides in meditation, quiet the mind. In the stillness and the silence is where your truths will arise. So, affirmation. I seek out stillness during some part of every day. In the silence, I am open to receive without asking and without expectation. In the silence, I will hear and see the truth. Rest, tranquility, and peace are rejuvenating to my spirit. Miraculous emotional, mental, and physical healings are available when I am open to receive. This is true. You can ask your guides to help heal you, and physical symptoms you have, you can just talk to them and be specific about where and what hurts and ask them to take it away and to make you more comfortable in your body. You can also call upon the Arcturians or the beings from Andromeda. They are well versed in psychic healing. And also Archangel Raphael, the healer angel. You can meditate with either groups. Or check out some healing meditations with the angels on YouTube by Steve Noble. Those are really good ones. This chakra will also help you become more selfless when it's balanced. So here's some more affirmations. I am kind to all. I am aware that everything I do and say will affect others. I will help those who need it and seek out ways to be of service. I develop an attitude of looking for ways to help others instead of constantly waiting to be asked. Everything I do from a spiritual perspective, and I put my heart into it. When my mind sways negatively, I remind myself of love, truth, gratitude, and spirit. I am the observer of my thoughts, and I do not let them bring me down. I remind myself to have gratitude and acceptance for what is, and to have the courage of my convictions. I continually pursue a clearer understanding of spiritual truths behind all that is unfolding. I ask myself, is what I'm thinking the truth, and is it having a positive or negative impact on my life? Okay, so this is it. Thank you so much for being here with me, and this is my first ever chakra challenge. You came along for the ride, and that's just amazing. I'm so glad that I was able to do this, and maybe in the future, no, not maybe, for sure in the future I'll be doing something new and different, but I just don't know what it is yet. We'll see, because the idea factory needs to recoup, right? And I need to rejuvenate. This holding space for 7 weeks is a lot, honestly. I didn't really know how much it was going to take, but it was a lot, and I'm blessed that I had the internal space to do it. So I'm gonna take a break, and if you'd like to book tarot or one-on-one session with me, you can email me at cosmicfractaloflight@gmail.com. And you can keep up with me on Instagram for weekly tarot until you see me on YouTube again, which might not be for a few weeks. But I don't want to put a limit on myself, because I'm sure I'll have tons of new things to share with you. But have a great, phenomenal week 7, crown chakra. For me, I felt a lot of disorientation and dizziness, a lot. It made me kind of like freak out, because I was like, oh, I felt out of my body. It was intense, so maybe be careful while doing this if you have a lot of things going on. But yeah, this one's really intense, but this is it, and then you're out the gate. That's it, you're good to go. So have a great week 7, and next Friday, you should do something for yourself. Because you deserve it. You took this journey, you freaking nailed it, and now you should do something that's going to make you happy. Do something for you that's nice. And, you know, also give yourself a little break to integrate all this work and things that you've learned. You're a rock star. Time to reward yourself, and I will see you when I see you.